Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Jess. I'm trying to do a construction startup, and I want to share how this week went, what changes I'm going to make, and how I'm going to get there. So let's start with why I'm making this video in the first place. I want to keep myself accountable, first of all, and second of all, I want to build in public, show people what I'm doing, so that the next time someone's building, they can skip all of this and get to the good part fast. So yeah, here it goes. So first, we're going to start with what happened. Well, how I failed last week, how I'm going to improve, and then a couple of things that I want to add. So let's start off with last week's failure. And I know maybe you can't see this, but I'll speak it. 6 meetings. I had 6 meetings last week, and I love networking. So I had 6 meetings last week. So why was I fooled into doing 6 meetings? So Richard Feynman has this quote where he says, the hardest part about life is not to fool yourself, or not to get fooled, and the person that fools us, and the easiest person to fool is yourself. I butchered that, but why was I fooled into 6 meetings? I love networking. I love talking to people. I really enjoy it, and I have a lot of fun doing it. And so I was like, okay, this is like half productive, and these are all people in construction, right? People that can help me out. So I got fooled into 6 meetings when I shouldn't have been. I don't think that was the best use of my time. So why not? Well, like, why was it a mistake? Or I guess, essentially, it's not the best thing I could do. That's why it was a mistake. It's a good thing. It's an adjacent thing, but it's not the best thing I could do. And since time is a limiting factor, it is the one constraint we all have. I need to maximize that. So the second thing, customer obsession. I was not customer obsessed, and that's the one thing. So why was I fooled to be not customer obsessed? Customer obsession is hard, first of all, and second of all, I guess the only thing is it's hard to be customer obsessed, and I feel like there's a natural proclivity to chase novelty, right? If I'm talking to 6 people, I can see maybe these are all customers. Maybe I can find their pain points too, and it's like I'm always at the surface level instead of diving deep into one singular problem, right? So that was my mistake. And why not customer obsession? So what are the challenges of not being customers? I'm not gonna get anywhere. If I'm not obsessed with my customer, this is one thing that every single founder does. They're obsessed with the customer. Actually, everyone at the peak of their field, they're obsessed with it. They know everything about it. So if I'm not there, then I don't know where this is going. And the third thing is prolific problem solving and identification. So why was I fooled into not doing this? Because, well, I think it was all a chain effect of customer obsession, but it's really hard. You have to critically analyze your thinking. And I had a conversation earlier this week where I was talking to my friend Alan, and he kept asking why? Why'd you make this decision? Why not this and why not this, and what have you explored? Why not? And that level of rigorous thinking is hard to do. And you have to be critical about yourself, and you have to be honest with yourself, which is pretty hard to do. And you start seeing all the mistakes you're making, and it's a very uncomfortable process, but that's the name of the game. So that's why. And what if I don't do this? Well, if I don't try, like, that's why I put prolific in there. So if I don't try many problems and many solutions and try to identify as many problems and solutions, well, that's just, I'm cutting myself short there, right? Because in a way, all these problems relate into solving the construction problem as a whole. So I should always be identifying and always be on top of identification and solving and finding different ways to solve the same problem. Okay, let's move on to the next steps. So instead of having 6 meetings, I'm gonna make 2 maximum non-customary meetings. Why? Because I think 6 is too much. And I think 2 is like a good balance where I could still be networking at the same time not spending too much time. That being said, I have 4 meetings and 3 events next week that I already booked. I love networking, I love talking to people, but what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna go to these 3 events, but I'm still gonna do the meetings because I can't not show up. But starting next week, I'll have 2 meetings, and I'll make sure I comment on this next week as well, so progress is being tracked. Documenting customer pain. This is something that I've been meaning to do for the last 3 weeks, and I've just been straight lazy. So essentially, why document customer pain? So if everything's in your head, it's great, and you know it, but you might sometimes forget. And why did you get to that conclusion? If you have a customer documentation, like I have daily logs of all the problems that happened on site, but I don't have it centralized, and I'm not reading it through every day. So if I can do that, then I'll have a really strong narrative of all the customer pain points. And how am I going to do this? I think right now I have it all in my book. I'm going to read it and make a synthesis, and then try separating all the different problems into buckets, and then have it on my Notion like a Kanban, and have it like, so problem, I'm going to try this solution, I'm going to write the test for it, and then I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to try doing that. I'll share that with you next week, and then at least one attempt to solve a problem. So it really doesn't matter if you're solving many problems or not, as long as the problem is huge. Like that's really where like what biggest problem moves the needle forward, really. So if I need at least one attempt though, one attempt per week, it doesn't matter if you fail. Like one attempt per week, it has to happen. So I think that's a minimum. And so how am I going to do this? Like I said before, like the build, measure, learn. So I'm going to try to employ that with my problems. And then 4 a.m. I think I have to start getting up at 4, just because like I'm losing a lot of time, because I wake up around like 7, and then I head to work at 8, and then at 8 to 12 I'm on site like working as a laborer, and after that I come to school and I'm already like pretty much like zoned out. I'm already tired, so it becomes really hard to work. Whereas if I get up at 4 and I just get all my work done for the day, I could go to work, and then I had 8 hours right from the jump, and then even networking opens up, because then it's not a complete waste of time because I already got my work done. But I want to focus on getting like the customer obsession part and the problem solving. That has to come first before the networking. I have to have something to sell before I'll go out there and just network and shake hands. And then the biggest thing I want to talk about is focus. I have to be focused on these 4 things, because oftentimes I'll say this, and then next week I'll go to a different meeting because this guy said that, or I want to learn something about AI, and I spend like 4 hours doing that. I think there has to be an emphasis on focus. That way it's trackable. And yeah, so just focus. And another thing, assumptions. These are all assumptions. I really don't have a North Star view of how I'm doing, because it's pre-revenue, right? So I'm making no money, so I'm not sure how things are going. But these are my assumptions. That it's an assumption that these are all bad, and I've justified it, but maybe there's some leak in that as well. But this is the next week, and I'm gonna scrutinize this as well next week on this side, and we'll see where it's going. But yeah, thank you so much guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a great day.